Thank you. Thank you to our panel. We very much appreciate this. We've just got about 5 more minutes left in our day, and so I just want to give a few closing remarks, sort of square the circle, if you will. First, let me thank you for coming and for participating. I really appreciate it, and thank you to all of our speakers that we had today. I really appreciate your participation and input. And again, a big thanks to our main sponsor for this event, CGI Brazil, the Brazilian Internet Steering Committee. This morning we opened up with a talk from Ron Diebert from the Citizen Lab, and he issued a pretty strong challenge to civil society that it's time to get engaged and to work to protect the Internet, that the time is now. You don't want to wait for governments, military organizations to be in charge of securing cyberspace. So it's civil society. We, the people, have to take this into our own hands and do this. We heard this afternoon from the new CEO of ICANN here, Fadi Shehadi, and he talked about a new culture at ICANN, a new culture of openness and transparency, and frankly something that was music to my ears, which was that a new culture of equality of stakeholders. I can tell you, as being a member of the non-commercial stakeholder community for nearly a decade, we felt as though some stakeholders are a little bit more equal than other stakeholders. And so hearing the importance that he wants to bring into the equality between the stakeholders, I found very, very refreshing. So I think we should all take this as an invitation to get engaged, to get involved in ICANN policy development. If you care about domain names, if you care about freedom, maybe you want to register a domain name without having your personal information, your home phone number and address posted on the internet for worldwide publication, you should get involved in ICANN because that's where that policy is set. If you care about having your domain name seized and taken away from you without any due process of law or any rights that would be afforded in any other situation, again, get involved in ICANN because we're talking about domain names and regulating domain names and seizing and transferring domain names. You're concerned about more governmental control on the internet. If this worries you, if you see this expansion of governmental power as a threat to the multi-stakeholder model, again, I will encourage you to get involved in ICANN. And how would you do that? Well, I would suggest that you join the non-commercial users constituency if you care about these issues. If you are a non-commercial organization or non-commercial individual, which all of us are in some aspects of our life, then you can join the non-commercial users constituency. And you can go to our website to do that, ncuc.org. Well, how can you participate? What can you do once you actually get joined to engage on these issues? Well, we've got working groups, all sorts of ICANN working groups that deal with specific policy issues. You can focus in on one of those, lend your energies and expertise to developing that policy. Public comments, we've always got public comments going on here at ICANN. All these policies and PDPs that get put out are put out for public comment. So again, it's an invitation to the community to get involved and get engaged. We've got all sorts of email discussion lists. I know within the non-commercial stakeholder group, we've got a very robust online discussion group amongst our membership. You can run for a leadership position, including the GNSO Council, which is very important at ICANN, as it makes policy recommendations to the ICANN Board of Directors or to the ICANN Board, and it also helps to select the ICANN Board of Directors. So these are very important functions, and there's a way to get engaged and to get involved in these issues, and we can have an impact. We've seen that just this summer with the letter that was sent by the non-commercial users constituency to the various privacy officials, asking them to get engaged and to intervene in these negotiations that are happening on the RAA agreement that we heard about earlier. Well, they did respond, and there was letters in particular from the EU Article 29 working group. Advising ICANN that its policies were in fact violating the law and maybe they should reconsider that. And ICANN is sort of starting to rethink that, at least We've heard some discussion about registrars within Europe not being able to opt out of the system. So again, this is an example of where NCUC has been able to have an impact and been able to try to help steer some discussions and bring some human rights aspects into the policy development process here. So lastly, let me just thank, again, our sponsors. We mentioned CGI, Brazil, our main sponsor, but really this was done with a whole group of people and organizations. The programming committee from the Non-Commercial Users Constituency was very active in setting out these panels, inviting speakers, and setting out the scope of the discussion. .org is also one of our sponsors of this event, and we're very grateful to them. The Citizen Lab, another partner for this event, we're extremely pleased to be working with them and very appreciative of work today. CIPIC, the Canadian Internet Policy and Public Interest Clinic at the University of Ottawa, another NCUC member, was also very active in helping to promote and engage people on this event. And we're also very grateful to APC, the Association for Progressive Communications, another NCUC member that did a lot to help promote and develop the discussions today. I'd also like to thank Affilius, who's also a sponsor of this event. And additionally, our web stream today was provided by the New York chapter of the Internet Society. So we're very grateful for them for that help. And lastly, but certainly not leastly, I want to thank the technical people that we've had assisting us today. Ken and Josh, Glenn and Jolie, you guys have been awesome, and we really appreciate it. Thank you so much. So now I suggest we adjourn and meet out in the foyer area where we've got cocktails and hors d'oeuvres waiting for us, and we can discuss all the many that were brought up today and continue the dialogue going forward. Thank you again for coming. Thank you.